Strategyroom at foxnews.com, strategyroom at foxnews.com for your emailed questions and comments. We're talking with today Julie Genovese. She's written a book called Nothing Short of Joy. She obviously, and I mean, if people are watching, they'll know, well, we know that she has a disorder, but you know what? It is not who she is, and that's her teaching point. The front of the book, it says, genetic specialists labeled her defective. One day she would label herself. Why was that so important to you, to find a way to label yourself separate from what all the medical examiners had said would be?
I think there's a knowingness inside everyone that when other people are judging or marginalizing us, and that's not who we are deep down, we know it. We may not know what to do about it initially. Yeah. But there is a sense, like children know.
Well, what do you do about it?
Well, for me, I didn't know what to do, but life helps you find those people who've already been there. And I'm not traveling a new road. There's so many who can...
So did you seek them out?
Yes.
Because, you know, there's one point in your book that really... And again, I'm not done with this. This is what Harris is reading, you know, because every week they see me, and then I go into the weekend and I finish what I start. But there's one thing that really touched my heart in this. It was, you walked, I think it was a doctor's office, you walked into someplace and you saw a couple. And you looked at this woman and you said, oh my goodness, is that what I'm going to look like when I get older? And she wasn't much bigger than you were as a 9-year-old. In fact, you thought she was a child at first.
Yeah.
And then you realized she was with this guy who was kind of portly eating donuts, but also very small in stature. And it jarred you a little bit, but it also gave you a little peace, like, okay, there are other people like me.
Yeah. Well, it was always shocking for me as well to see other little people because it is a rare condition. So I wasn't quite sure what that reflection was. And my family, who I see all the time, and I felt like them. It's sort of like, you know, a duckling who imprints on a dog and probably thinks they look like, I thought I looked like everyone else until I got feedback that I didn't. So... didn't answer your question.
No, you did. I just wanted to know what it was like to first see someone. Because I don't know, did your parents shelter you somewhat? Because doctors were just so amazed, at least that's what you write about. They were so amazed at how well adjusted you were.
Well, it was a double-edged sword. It wasn't talked about in our family, and that did help me feel. I felt I fit in. I felt a part of things.
You didn't feel like it didn't prepare you at all?
And it didn't prepare me, though. So that was the harder part, was out in the world, they were not taking the same cues my parents did, which is, she's just like everybody else. You know, we love her just like anybody else. But the difference out there and the stares and the laughter, that's when I realized, oh. And so when I saw that little couple and realized that was me, yeah, it was jarring, but it also helped me understand how other people see me now. It's not because they're trying to be mean, it's just, it's a bit shocking, and I'm a curiosity.
So doctors had told your parents that it couldn't happen again after they had your brother and he had this disorder, and then you were born with it. But then you have your own children and got married. Were you concerned that your own children would have what you have?
I didn't want to be. At that point, I wanted to believe that I had found, I mean, I didn't want to believe that I had found so many advantages, but there was a part of me that worried, but could I go through it with my own kids? You know, could I stand by them and not fall apart as I had? I wasn't sure. Both of my children are average height, or will be average height. They may be carriers of this type of dwarfism. I don't know, but now I feel so much more secure knowing that, you know, whatever adversity they face, it's not dwarfism, but there's going to be other things. It's going to be an advantage someday. Anytime we go through a challenge, it always brings out, or it can bring out the best in us, and it showed me what I'm made of. So now I can't be brought down the way I used to be, just by simple things.
You know, I'm seeing from the emails, one of the things that people want to know is, when you were a kid and you would dream about what you were going to do, what was your dream?
I didn't let myself dream too big. I know that. I loved art. Well, when other friends talked about, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an actress, I don't remember going there. I wanted to stay young. I remember really not wanting to grow up because then my differences would be more apparent. If I were to stay young, people might confuse me with a child, which happened and still happens. So I don't remember thinking, oh, I want to be such and such. I think I wanted to be happy, and I wasn't sure that was possible.
So what is the big message in your book? I mean, are you writing specifically to an audience that looks like you, or is this for everybody?
Well, what I learned, and just by writing, was what a universal story mine is, which is it's funny because I don't fit in physically, but I have gone through what everyone has gone through, those rites of passage of learning who we are and coming to some acceptance of who we are. And to just know from my friends and high school classmates who have read the book and said, that was just how I was feeling. The same, an alien in an alien world, and putting on a smile when things didn't go well because we all figured it was us. It was our fault. So it's not just, a little person story. It's just the story of being human.
And now, what do you tell your children about, because you say they may be carriers. What do you teach them?
Well, that it's not about how we look, of course, and that's cliche, but I've really learned that's true. It's not something I read. It's not something I was told. I really know it. So as they grow up and are taken aback by even what's on the surface of things is not really what's often going on. So I hopefully can teach them to look deeper and deeper and not take things for granted either. What other people assume, it's easy for people to walk. It wasn't so easy for me to walk. And that their joy is going to be based on what's inside them. It's not going to be based on the circumstances around them. It's going to be about their attitude and their choices. Beautiful,
beautiful message. Nothing short of joy. Julie Genovese, go out and get it. Amazon.com is what I understand from you is the fastest and best way to get this right now. But look for it on bookshelves as well. I think this is a great gift for a teenager if you have a teenager in your life. It's an easy read in terms of how fast it moves along, but I found myself really tearing up. Maybe because I'm a mom, I'm raising kids, and I understand that the challenges that you faced, in some ways they will face, whether they have a disorder or not, they're different. And we all are in some way. So thank you so much for writing from your heart and for being here this morning. A pleasure to have you, Julie. And it is what Harris is reading right now. We'll be right back after this commercial. Stay with us. Thank you very, very much for